Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad along with Doug.
Hi.
It is E3 week,
Mm-hmm.
and we have just finished up watching some of these past press conferences. So today we're going to talk about Microsoft and what Microsoft showed off on Sunday. Sunday, yeah.
Yes.
Sunday they showed some stuff off. So I think the place that we have to start, because it's the place that Microsoft had to start, and that is with the Scorpio. So,
Yeah.
and by Scorpio, I now mean the Xbox One X, which is the worst name ever.
It's not the worst name ever. It's just not a good name at all.
That's probably true. That was probably a bit of an exaggeration. That is a horrible name, especially when you consider that their other major console at this point is the Xbox One S. So you've got the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, which
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
there's going to be so many people who go to like buy video games at weird places and they're going to say, I want an Xbox One X, and they're going to walk out with the wrong thing.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be a lot of disappointed kids at Christmas this year, I'm sure.
But anyway,
and one lucky kid whose parent got it like screwed up the right way.
I thought you said this was $300. No, it is. Oh, I meant it was 500, Mom. But anyway,
Yeah.
So I actually think they did a good job of handling this. I'm not
Yeah.
super impressed by it just because it's not my thing at all. This whole idea of like power and overdoing I can't even begin to describe any of it because I don't get it or care that much.
Yeah.
So it's not really my thing, but I think the way they presented it is good. I think they went quickly through the specs.
Yeah.
They didn't take too much time on it. It got to just that point where I'm going, okay, I'm getting bored. And then they're like, all right, here's Forza.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this? Xbox One X. Any interest? Is it something? What do you think about it?
I have a weird theory that I wanna put by you about it.
Okay.
I think okay, this is really weird and kind of going off because I thought the $500 price tag was really strange. It didn't make sense to me because I know a lot of people because they just got a lot of people on with Xbox One S.
Yep.
They even at the end they just cut the price for the Xbox One S.
Yep.
So a lot of people are buying Xbox One S's, and then I was trying to think like who is the Xbox One X for, and then I was thinking so if this sounds crazy, just stop me. I think that the Xbox One X is for people who stream games, like streamers and Twitch users. And to me, because that $500 price tag is so prohibitive to most people who would buy an Xbox. So my theory is that they get it for streamers. So when people are streaming, because if you're a big streamer, you need to have the latest tech. So you're going to buy an Xbox One X. And then when you stream your Xbox games, you're like, oh wow, I can't believe the graphics on this game. And then you as a consumer are sitting there watching like, wow, the graphics on this game are insane. And it's basically like kind of using like magazine bull shots.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's to me like that's what I see. It's like, oh, but like it's sort of this like weird gray zone where that is what the game looks like. That is what the game plays like on Xbox One X. But so like people are going to be advertising as like this is what the game looks like, but that's not actually what it looks like. To like 99% of the people will be playing it.
See, but that's the issue. There is it's 99%. You can't cater to 1% and make a profit. I think that's very true, and I'm sure somewhere in their minds that's one of the target markets because that's a great idea. That's exactly what it is. It's that McDonald's making it look like you're eating an actual cheeseburger until you go and order it.
Yeah.
I do think that's what it is, and that's actually a really good idea. But the issue with that is that is a small number. I mean, we do YouTube stuff. We don't stream games. We're not that concerned about like visual fidelity and such with our videos and everything. You know what I mean? So if you think about that audience to begin with, and a lot of the people who are streamers and stuff are not sitting here rolling in money either, I don't think for the most part. Yeah, you've got your big fancy ones, but I think a lot of them aren't. So I do think that's an audience for this, and I think that those are the people who will be first in line.
Yeah.
But I see no way to justify that $500 price tag.
Yeah, but to me, what I basically mean is like they're just setting up billboards. Like it's basically advertising. Like
but those are some expensive ass billboards. If you think about how long they've been working on this thing and building this thing, that is
True.
You just go buy a billboard that says you'd be better off just to price cut the Xbox One S down to $200. You'd probably do better financially cutting $50 off of every Xbox One S you sell versus whatever the hell it costs to develop this thing.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but to me, it just seems weird. It seems very like prohibitive because like, and also take advantage that you need a 4K TV on top of it. It's such a weird thing.
Well, it's the issue I think we had and a lot of other people had with the Pro of going, who the hell is this for?
Yeah.
And I think the Xbox One X is much more justified than the Pro. I think it makes the Pro look pathetic sitting next to it. But I also think it's the same conversation of going at $500, who is this thing for?
Yeah.
Because this isn't for me, it's not for you. Most of the reactions and stuff I saw the price were kind of going like, okay, yeah, I guess maybe, you know, eventually if I'm actually going to pay for it myself, maybe I'll get it. So I don't know. I'm very concerned about that price point. I think that's going to kill it, and I'd be curious to see how quick we get that $100 price drop.
I still think I'm going to stick with my. It makes sense that every outlet's going to have to buy one though, and then every outlet's review coverage, everything's going to be Xbox One X, and every game's going to look gorgeous.
That's true, but again, you're only selling then a few thousand things of this. You need to sell thousands or you need to sell millions of this to make a profit on it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I guess.
Or to justify the cost at least.
Yeah, I have no idea. How. Yeah, I don't doubt it though. It's a lot of hardware in that thing.
But anyway, with that, I will say Forza looked damn good. I don't know racing games very well, but damn did Forza look good.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say the Xbox One X isn't like an incredible piece of hardware. Good lord.
Yeah, but anyway, so getting into the games here. So they announced 42 games, which I was shaking my head when they did, and a lot of that came in a big old montage. But anyway, they had a couple big ones here.
Yep.
Metro.
Yep.
That was one of those ones that was something I figured was dead. I would not have expected to ever see Metro again.
I think they just came with the PS4 collection or the Xbox One collection of like Last Light. Yeah. So I mean, like I feel like that's sold enough to justify it. I'm not a big fan. This is one of those like this announcement isn't for me, but it's a cool announcement.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It looks cool, and it's something. I played one of the Metro. I played I think one of them because it was on PS Plus or something. That's the only way I've ever even had a chance to play them. But it's just I don't know. It's one of those. It always seems like a cool mix of genres, but it's never like. I don't really need my stealth with my first person, with my survival. And it just seems like there's a weird mix of stuff there that's just not for me.
Yeah, it plays a little wonk. Like that series, like I think the incarnation that is like the final PS4 one is like the third or fourth edition of that game. Like when it first came out, it was not a great series, and then they improved it a lot since then.
Yeah. From there, they moved to the big reveal of Assassin's Creed Origins, which does look amazing, but I think we'll save that for the Ubisoft conference and come back to that.
Yep.
The next one that I think really stood out was Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Which is done by Arc Systems, who does Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue, and just did that look cool.
Yeah, I think it's been like a long. I think the closest we ever got to doing like anime 3D models was the Naruto games, like that aesthetic of doing like that 2D aesthetic with 3D models. I feel like the Naruto games did that really well. This one is like nails it. Like there's nothing I could point at that game that is like that looks exactly like the cartoon. That looks exactly like Dragon Ball Z. That is crazy.
Oh, without question. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. I've been really looking forward to the new Marvel vs. Capcom, and this puts it to shame like nobody's business. Yeah. Like if you compare what they were putting on the Sony stage for that game versus this game, I think it looks head and shoulders above it.
I know it's kind of a shame almost because Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is kind of like it's crazy that that game was made at all, but like compared to Tekken, compared to Dragon Ball Z. Compared to there's something else that's coming out recently too. There's Injustice 2. Like it just can't. It doesn't look that good. It doesn't look even compared to Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like
visually, it doesn't look good. I will say, having played the demo now, that game plays and is great. So I will give it that.
Mm-hmm.
Quick plug, just because I know you love it. It didn't show much, but the Artful Escape.
Yeah,
I know you played this at PAX and loved this game.
I did. I looked at. I felt like I was like, oh, this must be what an insider feels like. Because everyone's like, when they're playing the trailer, I was watching reactions. Like people are like, what is this game? It's like I know what that game is.
I'm the only one here who recognized that guitar.
It is a cool game, but I think like when I was trying to describe it before, it's like a really hard game to describe because people even saw that like, what the hell is this thing? That game is awesome. It's going to be crazy cool. I had a lot of fun playing it. I can't wait for it to come out. Like that's going to be like an easy recommendation if that thing plays anything like the demo I played.
Yeah. Just a couple other ones to hit on here. Some of the bigger ones. Sea of Thieves had a really long demo. I do not understand this game.
What don't you understand about it? It's No Man's Sky with 4 people.
I get it, but No Man's Sky worked because I could just play No Man's Sky whenever the heck I wanted to. This makes it feel like what if me and you are pirate buddies and we're like hanging out on a pirate ship and then you're like, oh man, time for dinner and I need to play for another hour. What do I do? Because I'm on a pirate ship by myself.
I guess that is kind of an important
Destiny works because Destiny feels like it's much more drop in and drop out, but it's kind of a similar idea. but this makes it feel like you are completely co-op in every aspect of the game.
That's a good point. I feel like that's a question. I feel like I feel like they must be working on some sort of AI companion buddy that drops out or drops in, drops out when your buddy leaves. Because I don't think that game would work. Like you're saying, I don't think the game works without 4 people or 5 people or whatever.
And I feel like an online matchmaking system where it's just like, here's 4 random people to be pirates with. It seems like you need a lot more coordination than just, oh yeah, this random dude I don't want to talk to who doesn't have a mic, who's just there to mess around, is going to completely ruin that game.
It's almost as bad as a guy with a mic.
Yeah, it's probably actually worse. Good call. But yeah, I don't know. Where are you at on Sea of Thieves? I think that's one of those games that's people are kind of either all in or kind of just nah, not for me.
I think the idea is really, really cool. I think the idea is really cool. Looking at it though, it's just like nothing about it really stands out. I think gameplay wise, like yeah, it looks really cool, but I think it does have that No Man's Sky sort of like, okay, what do you do? And the game like weirdly doesn't look good to me like at all. I think the water looks really cool.
It's an odd art style.
Yeah, it's not like because I like really subtle art styles, but it's not like subtle and neat. It kind of like seems like subtle, and honestly reminds me of like kid MMOs. Does that make sense? That sounds really harsh.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The free to play, like, yep.
And it just has that like sort of like weird aesthetic to me. So it does. So like I think as I've talked a lot on this, like aesthetic is something that really draws me in. So the aesthetic really isn't there for me. I like cooperation games. Like I like Destiny a lot, but I think I don't know. I just don't like pirates. I think that's honestly. I think if it comes down to it, I just don't like pirates. So like,
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, getting on a pirate ship with my buddies doesn't sound like super fun to me. I don't know. It looks like it's going to be like the moments of that game are going to be great. It's the in between the moments I think is just not going to be there.
Well, and they even skipped that in the game and went, oh, and look at we need to go to here. Oh, and look at that. Now you're here. It's like, oh, well, what happens in the 5 minutes in between there?
Or half hour or
yeah.
Who knows?
I think No Man's Sky is a good lesson for this game, and I think you bringing that up here is a good point because I think this has that same feeling of like this is a cool concept. And I think you took it a step past where No Man's Sky was, but you could still fall into a lot of traps that game fell into.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like having 4 people, like I'm honestly worried people are just going to get bored in between those moments, and that's I don't know, but I'm excited if that game comes out and people buy it and say it's awesome. It's like, oh, I could believe that. I'm just kind of like tepidly excited. I'm interested, just kind of worried, I guess.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So a couple other things. We'll just kind of run through these other ones really quick here. Yep. Crackdown 3.
Oh. Cool trailer. Terry Crews is a good idea.
Yep, and that's where I would leave that. Terry Crews is a good idea. That game looks oddly similar to Crackdown 2.
It looks worse than the Saints Row games. Like it just visually does not look as good. It's like weirdly looks like it came out like many years ago. I don't quite understand it, but it's made by Sumo Digital, and they're incredible developers. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on this one, and maybe just let it. We'll see. I don't see it doing anything different than Saints Row.
I don't either. I feel like it's very much that. Yep, we made an open world game too, and I think this will be the downfall of Crackdown. Microsoft will finally realize that Halo beta is Crackdown. Crackdown is that Halo beta.
Crackdown is the Halo beta.
One that I just want to talk about, I know you don't care too much, and by too much I mean at all, is Life is Strange. I'm glad that's finally a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Playing as Chloe, getting the prequel, that'll be great. I'm looking forward to that. Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, that's all you're gonna say about Life is Strange. You went crazy when that was announced. Oh my god!
I know I can sit here and talk about it, and you have nothing to say, and I don't really need to hear myself talk about it when there's still Anthem that we can have a pretty good discussion on.
True. Okay, I was wondering why you rushed through this. I was like, well, we got a few. Oh, yeah, Anthem. Yeah. Okay.
We got Anthem at the end. I know we're gonna take a minute on, but Shadow of Mordor, that seemed like it kind of fell flat. That again is another game that looks 3 or 4 years old.
It looks like an 8.
Yeah.
It's like the 8th 8 I've ever seen. I don't know. I like the dialogue a lot. I love the dialogue, actually.
I hated it. Orcs should not speak that good of English. That orc sounded like an English scholar. That felt so weird.
I would say compared to all the other atrocities it's making towards the Lord of the Rings lore, I would say good talking orcs is not the worst.
That's true, but that was the most obvious to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That was one that, especially considering that's your Scorpio game, that was the first ever game announced for Scorpio, and it's
Yeah. You're excited for. I know we skipped over, and you can talk really quick, but Ori, I know you're really excited for.
Yeah, that's another one that just I'm excited for. I like that it's happening. I'm glad that the studio's getting another shot at it. That game is the first one's fantastic. I love the way that that trailer was purely just tone. That's all that trailer was. There was no new gameplay mechanics. There was no real hint at a new story too much. It's just we're setting that same tone. We're keeping this game kind of somber, and it works because of that. That's what sets that game apart, and I think they were smart to pick up on this is what people like about this game. This is what sets this game apart.
Yeah.
We're gonna slow this down. We're gonna bring out the piano. We're gonna just have it be kind of this chill moment where you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be sad again.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play the first game. I'm probably gonna get around to it, but yeah, man, that game just looks gorgeous, and I was so happy it was 3D models. Those 3D models look insane. It looks so
Oh,
the animation
so
is
good.
gorgeous. Holy crap!
Yeah, that's a day one buy easily. That first game is so good.
I might actually buy it. Yep.
Oh, yeah, because I think it's PC. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the closer, which I
Yeah.
still feel weird closing on a multi-platform like this, especially when you're trying to sell a system. But that's a whole other conversation.
Oh, God,
I want to
yeah.
just talk about what this game is. Anthem, which is BioWare's new IP, which I can't believe they stole this demo from EA's very lacking press conference.
Yeah.
You've been big into Destiny the past month or two.
Oh,
You
yeah.
finally got into Destiny. So I'm just curious, having very recently, as in like this morning, played Destiny a lot. What are your thoughts on Anthem?
You know what's really funny? I think the big thing we kept talking about, like when we we're leading up to this, like every conference needs a horizon. Like I cannot freaking believe this game. And this like it's weird that this was a third party, like you're saying. Well, that's another conversation. But this was like this to me is my next horizon. Like there's everything about this game just looks incredible. I really like that. I liked how dense it looked. I'm a huge fan of creature design. Creature design will get me to like anything. Like if you have good creature design, I'm gonna love it. This game had awesome looking mechs. Had some pretty cool creatures. Had some everything about this game looked incredible. And I really am starting to love that drop in, drop out, co-op, everything sort of game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing that I was always really hesitant on and thought I'd kind of hate. But then when I played Destiny entirely through co-op, I was like, wow, this is actually an incredible experience. So there's more of those things with the guys who made Mass Effect, with the budget of Mass Effect. Yeah, just really excited.
Yeah, I think it looks interesting. It's one of those. My only concern with this is it looks so much like things we've seen before.
Really?
I think. Well, so when you look at mechanically or not mechanically, like systemly, in terms of like the systems that are running there,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff looked a lot like Destiny.
Yeah.
You look at world, that's a very common type of world I think you see now. This kind of jungle aesthetic, this kind of, futuristic jungle society. Again, looks, you mentioned Horizon, doesn't necessarily, has a very different feel to it, but I feel like in terms of the environment that you're looking through, similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got the mech suits you're flying in. I got lots of Xenoblade Chronicles X feelings watching this. So
Yeah.
I'm super pumped for it, but my one hesitation is it does look like kind of this amalgamation of a lot of different games, which for a lot of games does work, and that's good. And that can be very successful, but that's my one thing of going like, okay, how much of each one of these are we assembling? And with Destiny 2 coming out in a couple months, you need to put some distance between this and Destiny 2, which I think they did with a 2018 release. I think that'll put it far enough away from Destiny 2 that it's going to get those comparisons right away, which could be very hard from it, because I think Bungie learned a lot from Destiny 1.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a hard sell for this game of going like, yeah, it's great, but Destiny 2? Like, have you seen that?
See, I don't get that feeling from Destiny 2. Like everything I've seen about Destiny 2, like I'm excited because it looks like an improved Destiny 1. It does not look anything more than an improved Destiny 1. While this game looks like you're saying, it's an amalgamation of all the good parts of other games. And like Darksiders 2 is like one of my favorite games ever, and that just unabashedly steals from everything.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So I mean, like I'm okay with that. Like it's like the idea of just like, okay, let's say I have like a 4-player Horizon sounds effing awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like it's like that idea just sounds cool. So even just that plus jetpacks plus you got you got something called an exploration bonus. I was like, yeah. It has a lot of my favorite things about games. I would say the only there's nothing about that I didn't like. Even the loot was kind of cool looking. I don't know. I have this. We'll talk about it later. I have this like sort of issue with numbers nowadays, but because I think we'll talk about it later. But yeah, I think besides the loot aspect, I think it just looked cool. Everything about it just looked neat. It looked like a world I wanted to walk around it, and it looked like and honestly just like 4-player Horizon. Like that's cool. 4-player Horizon, you can go around and explore together. Great, awesome.
Yeah, a lot to like.
Yeah, I think that was a lot. I think that was missing from Destiny, that exploration aspect.
Yeah, Destiny very much confined you to certain areas and said, this is your area. Have fun.
And there's nothing. There's nothing in it. Go down the straight line. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So hopefully, and again, they didn't show much because a lot of this was just going to an objective marker. So hopefully, this is very open, very. Again, my mind goes to Xenoblade Chronicles X of just go wherever the hell you want to, and if you run into something too big, turn around.
Yeah, yeah. I want the running into the thing that's too big. That's always a great experience.
Oh yeah. But overall, I think Microsoft had some good stuff here. I think that's the Xbox One X is a hard sell, but I think they're starting to break through with some games here. There's some good ones that they've got. Exclusives, I think, is they're still their kind of Achilles heel, but they definitely showed off some good stuff that I'm excited to play, whether it's on Xbox One or PlayStation 4 or PC or wherever I end up playing it on. There's some good stuff that they showed here for sure.
Yeah, this was weirdly like got me excited for like PS4 games. Like every time it's like when they said like launch exclusive, I was like, oh, this probably coming to PS4, and I'm gonna be that game looks awesome, great.
Well, again, and that's the thing is like sitting here thinking about the games that we talked about. Metro's PS4, Dragon Ball is PS4, Artful Escape is PS4, Sea of Thieves is PC, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's that weird Microsoft cross-buy thing. Crackdown is exclusive, Life is Strange is PS4, Ori is exclusive, Anthem is PS4. So really, like, only a couple of the games we talked about are actually exclusive here, which I think again, that is Microsoft's big downfall, is they lean really heavily on the fact that you have an Xbox One. Look at all these great games you can play on Xbox One. Don't look to see if you can play them somewhere else.
Yeah, but now you can play them best on Xbox One.
Yes,
if you have money.
Xbox One X.
If you have
get
a
that
lot
$500.
Exactly.
All right, we are Workforce Gaming. You can follow us here wherever you're listening. Subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever you're listening. Follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming, and we will see you later with more E3.
Bye.